I still do.
Yeah.
But like when I'm here, I feel my nervous system a little bit on edge. And it's like that is my reset, twice a day.
Are you kidding me? This is exactly what I said after sitting down this morning and interviewing Melissa Ambrosini. She's one of the realest, most honest, most value-giving humans I've been able to sit down with, and I'm so happy that I'm sharing this episode with you today. Hi, I'm Chris Dufay, and you're watching Breaking Success. This is the show that gives you the answers for you to build the body, the business, and the life that you love. In our interview, we dive into the difference between Junkfood sex and Soulful Sex, why Mell is a believer in meditation and the easy way to switch over and make it work for you, why small talk is a waste of time and why we want to go deep into our relationships and conversations, and so much more. Mell has so much to give to you in this episode, so I'm really looking forward to hearing from you by commenting below once you've soaked in everything in this episode. I am so excited right now because I get to sit down with beautiful Melissa Ambrosini. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful. And there's so much I want to be able to bring forward, because if you don't know who Melissa is, you are in for an absolute treat today. And there's so much I want to talk to you about. So before we move to the thank you so much for really grateful to take the time out. I know you're on tour. I know you're absolutely flat stick right now, and you're doing a brilliant job. So
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. We've been trying to do this for months.
It's okay.
We're finally here.
You made it work.
Yeah.
So right now, you're talking about so many different topics, and so many I'm really vibing with, and I think is so important. We were just talking about before we hit record that really so much of this are conversations that are not being told, not being talked about. It's getting a little bit swept under the rug as well. Why is it that you wanted to bring this to the surface? Why is it that you wanted to talk about mindset, talk about relationships, talk about sex, talk about these things that are a little bit, people are a bit scared to bring forward, and that's why I really appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think the topics of love, sex, relationships, especially sex, it's very taboo and it's swept under the carpet, and it's not so much like, it wasn't really a conscious decision for me to, one day I didn't just wake up and go, I've got to talk about this. It's almost like I've been guided by a higher source, the divine, universe, God, whatever you believe in, like, it's almost like I am a puppet, and it's like I have just been told to do it and forced to do it. Not forced, because it's divine and it's beautiful, but I didn't just wake up one day and say, I want to talk about this. It just is. And it just happened. And I feel like it's my role on earth to be a voice.
It's like your responsibility.
It's my responsibility. It's my responsibility, and I take that responsibility because I'm not here to play small. And I want to live a big and colourful life. I want to get to the end of my life and go, I showed up. I really showed up. I made a difference. I helped people. I was kind. I really gave it my everything. Because I know so many people that couldn't say that. And they get to the end and they go, oh. There's that amazing book by Bronnie Ware. I actually interviewed her on my podcast, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And as she was reading, I've got goosebumps just even saying it. As she was talking in the interview, all of these regrets, I wish I lived a life true to myself. I wish I spent more time with the people that I love. And when she was saying these top 5 regrets, I was like, I don't have any of those.
Wow, that's great.
I literally, if I died tomorrow, I would be like, yes, I showed up. And I did what I came here to do.
What is it that you're loving right now? What is it that the message that you feel that responsibility to help share and kind of open up for people?
Well, we're just on tour for our Open Wide tour, which is to celebrate Nick's music, who's my husband, and my second book, which is called Open Wide, A Radically Real Guide to Deep Love, Rocking Relationships, and Soulful Sex. So Open Wide is essentially about making the longest journey you will ever make, which actually isn't that long, but it's one of the hardest journeys you'll ever make, and it's only about this long, and it's from here to here.
I love that. Yes.
And it's a lot of people are living in their head and not in their heart.
Yeah.
They're closed, they're shut down in their head, they're not open, they're not living in their heart. And the thing is we only have one or two choices: love or fear, being open or closed.
Yeah.
And so many people out there are walking around in their head, shut down, closed off, looking down at their phone and not opening up and looking at all of the beauty that we have around us.
It's so funny because literally this morning I was walking along Bondi and like obviously it's new, it's the first time I've really been walking along Bondi and I'm just like, oh my God, this is fantastic. I'm like really soaking it in. But then I notice everybody that's on their phone just like head down, like going from point A to point B, and I'm just like, soak it in, there's so much going around right now.
Absolutely. And that's probably what my core message is right now, is about getting from here to here, choosing love instead of fear, getting out of being closed and coming back into your heart, because that's our truth.
Yeah.
That's why we're here on earth, is to live from this place and to go out there and share that with the world, to serve, to inspire. That is why we're here. You know, not to live in fear in our own head, you know, in struggle city. We've got to come back into here.
How do you help somebody first recognize that they're too much in their head, they're making decisions maybe from a scarcity mindset or a victim kind of mindset? How do you help somebody at least see what's going on?
There's two things that you can do. The first one is you've got to be aware of it. Like, you've got to have that level of awareness within yourself, because once you know something, you can't unknow it.
Yeah.
It's like, unless you have one of those Men in Black guns. Remember those? Remember those zapper things that like erase your memory? And I don't have one. Like, and I don't. Men in Black. It's like a thing. I can't even remember. But I just remember that in Men in Black. I loved that movie. It was so good.
Yeah.
And I don't have a Men in Black zapper. So once you know something, like once you are aware that, okay, maybe I am a little bit too much in my head. Maybe I am a little bit closed. Maybe I am choosing fear more than love.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm letting fear in the driver's seat.
Yes.
You can't unknow that.
Yeah.
And it's then your responsibility to hold yourself accountable and go, okay, I'm in fear. I don't get this right every day.
Yeah.
I am still working on it. If I was enlightened, I would have levitated out of this body, and I haven't yet. So I'm still learning this too.
Yeah.
And so I catch myself, you know, I'm in my head, I'm closed. What can I do to come back to my heart? And there's two things that I always remind myself of. The first one is a mantra I say to myself, and that is, nothing good comes from closing. Nothing good ever, ever, ever comes from closing down and shutting off. And my husband reminds me of this as well. You know, like sometimes he can see me shutting down and like I'll roll over in bed and I'm like, don't worry about it. You know, roll over, and he's like, pulls my shoulder back and he's like, nothing good comes from closing. I'm like, you're right. Yeah. But you know,
Totally.
that's my opportunity to open up. That's the work. That is the work.
I love that you've used open wide. I totally get it, and I think that's a beautiful way to actually frame it and that verbiage for it as well. Now, Nick, and what you just said there, because I think that's absolutely beautiful, and I see that with Lauren, my wife, where she can help me see where I've gone astray, and I love that. You know, she'll pull me straight back down to earth, and I'm like, okay, yes, that's why I love you. How do you do that without somebody there? So if somebody doesn't have that partner yet, and then we can talk about with the partner as well, but how does somebody actually help bring themselves back into, okay, too much here, I need to come back here right now? And I love what you said as well, taking responsibility, because I think that's one of the key parts, because we can so easily, do you know what I mean, fob it off to somebody else and say, do you know what I mean, oh, I didn't get this because of that reason or that person or that circumstance as well. So how does that happen?
Well, ideally, you want to be able to do it yourself.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to rely on someone else to kind of pull you up.
Yeah.
So it comes back to that self-awareness. And the more awareness you have within yourself, that gets kind of strengthened with meditation.
Yeah.
The more you sit with yourself, the more you are aware of how you feel, the more you'll be able to catch it. So I can literally walk through my day and I'm like, yeah, I closed off there. Yeah, I was close to that person. And then I walk away and I'm like, I was just so close to that taxi driver.
Yeah.
And I just completely missed an opportunity to connect with another human being.
Yeah.
you know, and that could have been a life-changing conversation.
Yeah.
It could, I don't know. He could have like shared something with me that could have profoundly changed my entire life. But I just closed off to him because I was in my head, on my phone, you know, missed opportunity, gone, and I'll never get it back again.
Yeah.
So you really do have to have a level of self-awareness, and that gets strengthened the more you sit with yourself. The more you sit in meditation, you close your eyes and you go inward, that gets strengthened and strengthened, because you don't want to have to rely on your lover or your mum or a friend to call you out. It comes back to you. And then if you show up taking responsibility and you show up as the best version of yourself, you allow your partner to do the same.
Yeah.
And then that's what I believe a conscious union is about. It's about two whole and complete people coming together and sharing their completeness. Not you fill a void in me and I fill a void in you. I've been there, and that has an expiration date. Most of my past relationships were, they liked to save women and I wanted to be saved. So it worked for a period of time, but it has an expiration date. So with Nick, it's like I'm already whole and complete and perfect on my own. I don't actually need him. But he's awesome to hold hands through life with. And he makes life. He's the embellishment, the sprinkle on top.
Yeah. I love this because, especially like, say, a very like Buddhist philosophy is looking at things where you shouldn't have attachment, you shouldn't have ego. And when it gets deep, and when I was like reading these things, especially about attachment and ego, I felt my ego go, oh, I'm not too sure about that. Like, say, with children, like, they don't come for us, they come through us, and they have their own life. And do you know what I mean? With a partner or a child, and if that person was to die, pass on, move on, you shouldn't be attached to that, and you shouldn't be sad about that, and you really should be happy. And I felt like when I first read that and kind of started to be, I was like, oh my God, like I wanted to hold on so badly to what I was, and I was like, okay, I need to work through this right now. And the other thing as well, so I did a silence meditation retreat not that long ago, and it was really interesting because so many people were like, oh, I couldn't do that. Like, I'd freak out with myself. And I was like, isn't that interesting? Because I think that's why I wanted to do it, was because I wanted that space to myself and to really dig deeper. I felt like there was some walls I need to get through. And that meditation part, I think, is critical, because I feel like once I've put this into my daily practice now, like it's my morning thing, I don't feel like I've done it. I haven't started my day right unless I've got it done in the morning. Because I know I probably won't ever get fit in the rest of the day as well.
Exactly. And you just make more and more excuses.
Oh, totally. You justify the hell out of it.
Totally. So that's, for me, I practice transcendental meditation, or Vedic meditation, whatever you want to call it. And for me, I do 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the afternoon. It is the first thing I do as soon as I wake up. So I wake up, you know, I go and brush my teeth, go to the bathroom, and I grab my phone, which is outside. I never have my phone in the bedroom. I go grab my phone and do instant timer. I keep my phone on airplane mode, and I use instant timer, and then I sit down back in my bedroom, go straight away meditate for 20 minutes, because if I don't do it, then I just won't do it.
Totally.
I will make all these excuses. But I'm curious to know, how did you go with the Vipassana, the silent meditation?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I totally loved it. I did a psychedelic experience on my first night as well. That was my first time, and that was great. I absolutely loved that. And I just journaled the hell out of it the whole time. And I got deep. Like, I was reading to my wife when I got back. I was like, letting me just read some passages that I wrote, and I was like, I can't believe this came through me. Like, there was some stuff that needed to come out, and I felt very clean from it as well. It's something I want to keep up. Something I think it should be in a hedonic calendar. I want to keep coming back to and looking at, because I feel like I need a reset every now and then as well. Just like the meditation, it's kind of like, all right, reset. Let's kind of like get back into myself, and then we can move on for the rest of the day.
Totally. And this is the thing, like, we live in a city. Well, I live at the moment in a city, and it is my reset. Like, when I'm in, we have a place in the Noosa hinterland. When I'm there, I don't feel as though I need to meditate as much. I still do, but like when I'm here, I feel my nervous system a little bit on edge, and it's like that is my reset, twice a day. Where in Noosa, my nervous system is like
chilled out.
So much more chilled out. And that's because you're tuning into not only collective consciousness, and collective consciousness is, sometimes a bit hectic, but also the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
We're in a microwave here in a city. We're just tapped in.
Scary, isn't it? And especially when the science that's coming out right now with actually how bad it is. It's like you want to turn everything off at home. Like, don't just turn the Wi-Fi off. Like, the electricity should just be turned off as well.
We depower our whole house every night except for the kitchen because you can't for the fridge.
Okay. Good. Never thought of that.
But we short circuit the whole house every night, so that I've had dirty meter reading tests, and they're pretty low anyway. Yeah. But why not?
Totally.
It's not that hard, guys. I just go like that. It's not hard, and people are like, "Oh, it's another thing," and I'm like, "But it's your health.
Yeah.
It's your life." And on my podcast, I've had 2 amazing people come on and talk about EMS.
Yep.
And I was just blown away. And they were saying that we're going to look back in 10 years. The science isn't out. Yeah. The science is out, but the evidence, we haven't had it long enough yet. And he's like, we're going to look back and just kick ourselves that we weren't taking action now.
Wow.
And it's like the smoking, so many years ago they were like, smoking's not bad, and now they're like, it is. It's horrible for you. So, it's really important that we take action. I don't know how we got on that tangent.
Yeah, wow, we really went down there. That's really good. Okay, let's bring it back to the Soulful Sex part.
Yes.
How did that conversation start with both yourself and Nick? If we can talk about that, because I feel like if we can take it from where you started, now we can pull it in and learn what steps you've gone through to how we can apply them to our lives.
Yeah, okay. So before I met Nick, I was having Junkfood sex.
Yeah.
So that is like no soul-to-soul connection, just very cheap, quick, not heart-to-heart.
It's like masturbation.
Mutual masturbation.
Mutual masturbation.
Yeah, with someone else, it's like no soul connection. And then I started reading some stuff about Tantra and Taoism and the work of David Dida, his book Dear Lover. And I started to explore all of these different things. I was like, oh my gosh, soulful sex is actually a thing, and making love is an experience with God or Source or the One or whatever you want to call it, whatever word resonates with you. And I'm reading this and I was like, I didn't know this. No one taught me this. And then, so beautifully timed, Nick walks into my life, and one of the first conversations we had was about this.
Wow.
We went deep very quickly. So we, the first dates that we had, we would sit on Bondi Beach and talk for 3 to 4 hours about monogamy, about no expectations, letting go of baggage. We didn't talk about the past. It was all just about our experience now. We spoke about Tantra, Taoism, just not having any expectations. And so we were able to go really deep and get into each other's hearts very, very quickly. And that's how it kind of all started. That's where it happened. And then, we just went on a journey together and we've explored this together. But for me, it's a divine experience. It is, it's like a meditation. Soulful sex for me is a meditation.
Yeah.
It reconnects me, brings me back. You're the most present, meditation. You've got to be really present. Yeah. And it is an experience with God or the higher source, whatever you want to call it. And we can all have that.
Yeah.
All of us.
So I was having this conversation with Lauren, and I know she'll be more than happy for us to chat about this live with everybody. Our sex has been phenomenal, and it feels like it's better and better and better the longer that we're with each other, and especially with the monogamy. And I was having, do you know who Mary Shinauda is? The paleo chef. I'm going to connect you to. She's in LA. You two will love each other. We were talking about last time we were in LA, and we were talking about monogamy and how there's a big kind of surgence of it not being there, and people. And I'm totally monogamous.
I'm a serial monogamous.
Yeah, I just totally. I
you're my one.
Totally.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are having that junk food sex, are having that inability to actually connect and go deep. And this is where I'm also finding in just relationships and talking with people, is if we're not going to talk deep, I really just don't have the time.
I can't be bothered.
Right now. Yeah. 100%.
I literally can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you help people at least have those conversations that go deeper? And then if somebody is having junk food sex, or if somebody maybe is with a partner and it's not soulful, how does that person make a change?
Open this up, crack this wide open, be vulnerable, be honest, be authentic, because vulnerability makes people lean in. It connects us and it helps us go like this. And I'm like you, I don't have time for this superficial, surface level relationship. Like, I want to get to know you. I want to get to know Chris. Like, who are you at your core? What lights you up? Like, what's going on? What's in there? Like, that lights me up. And all of my girlfriends, like, we're just like, we go deep. Not, hey, how are you? Yeah, good. Yeah, good.
Same conversations.
Yeah, busy? Yeah, really busy. Like,
hate that.
I'm like, no. How are you really? Like, what's going on for you inside? And how can I support you? How can I help you? And this is the thing, like, I am just not interested in this surface level junk food relationships with anyone. I want to go deep. I want to know, how can I support you today? Or how can I help you? Because that's what we're here for. So the way that we can go deep and really connect and make our friendships and our relationships even deeper is by opening this, opening our heart wide, speaking from our heart, being authentic, honest, and vulnerable. And it can feel scary. It can feel really scary at times, but what the alternative is shutting down. So what's worse? Do you want to just shut down and be closed for the rest of your life and then get to at the end and go, damn, I wish I spoke my truth? Or do you want to take the risks?
What are the risks that you're taking right now?
Oh, far out. Like,
I know you're taking a lot now.
Like, I try not to think about it too much because, and I'll tell you why, it is my truth, being really vulnerable, like on stage and in my book. Like, and then, you know, people come up to me and go, that was so vulnerable. And I'm like, so vulnerable. I'm like, don't remind me. I don't want to know. Like, because then I get caught up in my head. What did I say? Like, and then then my mean girl starts to go, did you overshare? And then I start to feel sick. But in that moment, I was a channel and it just came through me. Whatever I even said, or whatever I wrote, it just came through me. And whatever the story was, and to someone listening, it might have seemed really vulnerable. So I'm just like, that's my risk. I'm taking big risks and being my true, authentic, real self, unapologetically on stage. Like last night, we had our show in Sydney, and my intention is to just, before I go out, is to be a vessel. And I ask the divine or source or God to move through me. And whatever the audience needs to hear, just do it. Just move through me. Use me. Use me as a vehicle for change and inspiration to these people. I want these people in the audience, I've got full goosebumps. I want these people in the audience to be moved for the better in some way. And everyone's going to have a different experience. Some people might have these big realizations, someone might just be this little tweak. And so my intention is to be this vessel so that they can receive whatever it is they need to receive. That's why I'm here. And that's, like, I have been through a tumultuous journey of my own health, of my own separations, my own depression, eating disorder, anxiety, panic attacks. And I did that at a very young age. I did that at 24. And so I believe that I went through all of that young to be the leader that I am now, the teacher that I am now.
Okay, so many things are coming in right now. The last book I just listened to was The Power of Intention, and you've said it 3 times now that you're a vessel and it comes through you and moves on. And actually just yesterday I was listening to something and they said it was the difference between Beethoven and Mozart. Beethoven was very like step by step putting each piece of the puzzle together for what the music was really going to be, where Mozart just said it just came through him. It just whoomp, comes through, everything came out all at once as well. And in The Power of Intention, it was talking about we all have that connection to whatever it is that you really want to call it. And it could be the zeitgeist, it could be God, it could be the universe, whatever. But it's how rusty is that connection at the end of the day? you don't have a rusty connection, and I absolutely love it. How do you help somebody kind of like unrust and have that better connection so they can be a vessel, so it kind of runs through them as well, so they're not constantly asking themselves, what's my purpose, what should I be doing, what makes me happy, and it's just a flow.
You've got to do the meditation.
Yeah.
You've got to do the sitting in stillness, and whatever that meditation is for you. You know, it might be, for me it's sitting for 20 minutes and using a mantra.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that brings you to that place of stillness within yourself, that's what shines you. Like if you're a car and you're rusty and dirty, you need to go get it cleaned.
Yeah.
That's what cleans you up. And it's so, you have to do it every day.
Yeah.
You have to, especially if you live in a city.
Yeah.
Like, you really do. Like, it blows my mind that people are still not meditating and they just keep making excuses.
It's not woo-woo ananymore.
It's
like the amount of
not.
science that comes out about this,
I
and it's like
know.
there's so many good books.
I know.
10% Happier. What's the other book? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to put it in the show notes after this. Thrive. Sorry, it's a fantastic book. Like there's so much science coming out about the importance of it, and it's not. And I'll be brutally honest right now. I thought it was a little bit woo-woo at the start,
Yeah.
and what got me to make that switch, being a little bit of a meathead. Somebody made the analogy, it's kind of doing the reps. When you're meditating, you're not trying to be enlightened straight in the moment, but it's just trying to bring yourself back to. And every time you bring yourself back to, it's another rep, and you're getting stronger, and it's just brain training. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, I get it. Like, for me, that's when it clicked, and I was like, oh, I can totally get it. And then that kind of like, it was the gateway drug for then to me to open up into everything else as well.
Yep.
So if somebody's struggling with meditating, getting into it, choosing what to do, how to do it, whatever, what's your guidance for them to move forward with that?
Start small. Start with just 5 minutes in the morning. First thing, it's really important to do it first thing in the day. It just sets you up for a really successful day. And if you can just start with 5 minutes first thing in the morning, using a mantra or listening to a guided meditation or just focusing on your breath. You know, it's whatever feels good for you. Try a couple. This is what I did when I first started meditating 6 years ago. It was almost 8 years ago now. It's 2010.
Yeah.
I first started meditating. First experienced it in a yoga class. And I was laying in Shavasana and she took us through a guided meditation. And I was like, this feels so good. What did you just do? Like, what was that? What was that? And then how can I do that? And then literally, I from there just would go home and do it at home. I didn't really know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I just lay in my bed and breathe and kind of reenact what she was saying in the class. And so that was 2010, and it just changed my life. And then I explored mantra-based meditations, visualization, breath, all sorts of different ones. And then a few years later, I landed with TM.
Yeah.
And it has just stuck with me. And I am religious.
Yeah.
I do 20 minutes twice a day. It's very, very rare that I would miss one.
Yeah.
Very, very rare. It's my only thing that I do every day. I brush my teeth. Yeah. But, anything else as well. Like, I'm really big on morning routines and things like that, setting yourself up for success. But, we all get busy. We have to get early flights and things like that. We have kids. Kids is a whole other ball game. But even if I just get that in, like, I will make sure I wake up. I have a 11-year-old stepson. I make sure I wake up before him so that when we have him 1 week on and 1 week off. So the weeks that we have him, I make sure I just get up earlier, and I go to bed earlier because I want to get that in. So it's like what you said, it's sharpening your mind. It's brain reps. So just like you go to the gym and you do your squats to get nice thighs and a tight booty, doing your meditation is strengthening your brain muscles. And you get quicker and quicker at living from your heart and coming back into your heart from your head.
Yes.
So that's why we do it. Just start with 5 minutes. 5 minutes and commit to that for a week.
Such good advice, and I think that's so important for people to hear, because it's so easy for us to want to make things so hard and so complicated and put all these barriers in the way for us to get there as well. 5 minutes. We're going to put a challenge out there. It's going to be. I love that. Now, we were talking a little bit about business before. like with your brother and other ideas, and we were vibing off that. That was really, really good. Now, when it comes to your business and how you operate your business, because what I love about what you do is it comes through so many different mediums. Like, the amount of value that you're giving is incredible. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's just a testament to how much you've got to give as well. And I feel like so many people are struggling right now with, like, how do I build a business? How do I be a successful entrepreneur? There's all these questions coming out that are wanting to get people to have a bigger impact, maybe live with more freedom, maybe earn more money. How is it that you design your life so you can have the business that you want?
Yeah, you've got to get really clear on what it is that you want, how you want to serve, what that looks like, books, speaking gigs, whatever, online courses, programs, and then how do you want your day to look? Like, and when I actually sat down with this, I was like, okay, you know, I want to get up, I want to do my morning routine, I don't want to have to rush. I want to create space in my morning to meditate, go and do F45 or go to yoga or go for a walk and meditate and do all those things. I want to start my day and I want to, you know, work until lunchtime doing what I love, whether that's recording a podcast, writing a book, mentoring clients, whatever it is, and then have lunch ideally with my husband, you know, at home. And then in the afternoon, I really wanted to create more space for more flow. So whatever, and this is something I'm still working on. I'm not very good at it yet. I have a very type A overachieving, go, default setting. And that was kind of implanted from my dad, who migrated to Australia when he was 6 and didn't speak any English. They came from Italy, and so they had to work. He was really teased and because he couldn't speak English, and they were very poor, and he had to work really hard. And he got to year 10 and then finished school and went and got a trade, and he had to work really, really hard to provide for his family. And so he's got that work ethic. You got to work hard, you got to flog it out. So I notice that sometimes that default pattern within me come up, and I'm like, whoa, that's dad's, that's not mine. Like, because I don't want to subscribe to that anymore. So for me, it's like, you've got to be aware. This is where the awareness comes in, and that awareness gets strengthened through the meditation. So I've got to be aware enough to go, whoa, okay, that's just slipped back in, and that's not mine. And I don't want to subscribe to that paradigm. I want to move through my day with ease and grace. I don't want that energy is not how I want to live my life. So I have to be really mindful and aware of when that slips in. And I read an amazing business book, and I cannot remember which one. I think it might have been Tony Robbins, or can't remember. And they said, if it was Tony, I'm not sure, they said that whenever they're feeling, we were talking about this before, whenever they're feeling really overwhelmed or a little bit like they look at their day and they're like, oh my gosh, I've really jam-packed it. The first thing they do without guilt is just go, okay, we've got to move that, we've got to get rid of that, I don't need to do that call, someone else can take that call, and they just clear. And instantly when you do that, the weight lifts off your shoulders. So I've been on tour, and this is something that I'm going to have to sit down today and just kind of go, okay, cool, we can shuffle things around, I can move that interview there, and because I'm in the middle of launching my book and touring my book, I have lots of interviews which I'm so grateful for, like especially this one. This has been beautiful. I'm so grateful, and I just have to look at my calendar and go, okay, cool, let's move it around and make it so it flows a little bit more effortlessly for me. Otherwise, I've been at burnout. I have been at adrenal fatigue, and it's not fun, and it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. So for me, it's like constantly making sure that little default, when it comes up, just being aware of it and then reshuffling.
I really get with what you're saying, especially coming from where I've been. And it was like, when I first started the online businesses, it was just 24/7. It was just go. And it kind of reminds me of, like, it was like, I don't know who was talking about it. It's like the 4 levels of consciousness. There's the victimhood, which is that everything happens to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, I can't do this because this happens to me. And then there's by me, which is really, okay, I've got to go and do something. And that was really me. Like, if I want to achieve that, I will run through walls and I will get that done. And it was just like go the entire way. And then there's through me, where, and this is what you're talking about, it's the vessel. Like, things are just going to come through me right now. And I really had to go through that transformation of, no, it's not about working 24/7. It's not about putting in more. It's about the quality as well. And it was amazing because when I finally just started to realize that and just implemented it just a little bit, amazing things started to happen. Do you know what I mean? Business starts to boom, money just start coming through. Like, you meet and have the right relationships. Suddenly people are just falling at the right time and you're like, oh my God, this is absolutely amazing. I think the wanting to burn out and wanting to go and do things, and like even with myself, and I talk about this in my new book, I battled with binge eating for so long. When I was competing as a fitness model, I had massive eating disorders and I was very unhappy. And this is where I see so much of the health and fitness world, unfortunately, is mentally very unhappy. And it's like, hey, are you doing these things to feed the ego right now? Are you wanting to have a better body? Are you wanting to lose weight? Are you wanting to have a six-pack or whatever because you think it's going to make you happy, where it's not? It's not going to make you happy at all, because you've got to be happy with yourself and not looking for outside. Do you mean? And you're saying you look great, because that's not where it's at as well. So when it comes to making sure that Melissa is happy day in, day out, what are those few things? You said you kind of like your meditation is definitely one. Are there any other non-negotiables that you have throughout the day so you are the best person that you can be?
Well, actually, I used to use the word non-negotiable.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't use it anymore.
Tell me.
And the reason why is because it was actually Neil Donald Walsh who wrote Conversations with God on my podcast, who brought this to my attention. It's the best.
Yeah.
And he said to me, I don't have any non-negotiables because that would mean that I'm not in flow.
Ooh.
And
I was like, that from my vocabulary.
And I was like, oh yeah, because things happen.
Yeah.
You know, your child gets sick.
Yeah.
You're not going to go, excuse me, doll.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go do my 20. Yeah, I'm going to go do my 20-minute medi, and you're interrupting my yoga. Like, do you know what I mean? Someone passes away.
Yeah.
Like, you drop everything. My beautiful 95-year-old nonna just passed away, and I was on the aeroplane straight to Queensland.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't going, oh, I'll come in 20 minutes when I finish my medi. Like, you've got to flow. There's got to be flow. But in saying that, I have preferences.
Yeah.
So I now use the word preference.
I like that.
So in my ideal day, I have preferences, and definitely meditation is one of them. Movement is one of them. And I know some days I have an hour and a half to go and walk. Some days I have 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it, you know, that could just be a little bit of stretching in my hotel room, you know, just to move my body. So some sort of movement, meditation, nourishment. Like, I don't even think about it. Like, I don't think about it. It's literally like brushing my teeth. Clean water, good food, organic food. That doesn't even come into my mind that I have to think about that sort of stuff. Time on my own.
Yeah.
I
like that.
I have realized, like, you know, I've read a lot of, have you read the book Quiet? It's about introverts and extroverts. Yeah. And all my life...
She started an empire, by the way. Oh my God.
I know. I was listening to another podcast with her the other day. But I always was like, I'm extroverted. But I realized that I'm actually very introverted, but I do extroverted very well.
Yeah.
So I can come out on stage and I can be extroverted, but a lot of my time, I love just being on my own with myself. And so, like today, we've had a full, you know, we've been traveling, we've been touring Australia, and this morning we woke up and Leo, who's my stepson, and Nick were there, and I said, I'd really love some time on my own today. Could you guys, you know, go fishing, or can you go for a surf, or I think they're going to go play cricket or something like that. And Nick's like, yeah, sure, no worries. I was like, I just want to be in the house on my own. I just want to be pottering.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's really important. And we live in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment, so it can sometimes feel a bit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, boys, it's time to go outside and give me some time to myself. So that's another preference. And ideally going to bed early. You know, we're in bed. That makes me feel like the best version of myself.
We're always in bed like 9 p.m. Pretty much the latest. Like 8 p.m. is really when we go like maybe let's go into the bedroom. We'll chill out. Do you know what I mean? Like the oils are there and like the lights dim down. At least the conversation can be nice. But I think that's really important because sleep is something that's just constantly coming to the forefront of how important it is. With the extroversion introversion thing, I love that you said that because I really found myself, it was like a situational extrovert, like on video, on stage, I'm really out there. But let's say maybe at a conference or an event, I don't like those lots of people situations. Like, you know, I'm like, nah, not for me. Like maybe a group of like one-on-one or like 2 or 3, fantastic. I love it, thrive it, can really have that energy. But big groups and then really being able to like mingle or what people want to be like networking, I'm like, no, it's not for me. It drains me, and I'll happily go back to my hotel room. Do you know what I mean? Or even at home, like I have my home office, like it's my little cave. I'll go in there, I can happily sit there and do my work and get away with it as well. And I think that's really important to understand. And again, like how many times has this come up in this conversation? Self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
So important.
I'm the same too. Like we have, when I go to dinner parties where there's like, I always try to find out how many people are going because like a dinner party of 10, it overwhelms me and it's just too much. Like I'm like, because I want to get deep. So when we have people over to our house for dinner, it's one person or a couple. You know, and we've only got 4 chairs. So Nick and I, and then another, like, because we want to get to really know the other people. Like I don't ever have big dinner parties at my house because I just want to go deep. I really want to go deep.
So much better about the quality.
Quality. It's really about the quality. And like I said, I'm not here to play small. I want to live a really big, colourful life. I want to make a difference. I want to help people. I want to connect with people. Like, you know, this is that lights me up. You know?
You've got a great energy.
Oh, so do you.
No, thank you. I want to be very respectful of time. I know you're super busy. Now, I know there's so much that you can learn from Melissa because I've learned so much from Melissa as well. What is the one thing you want the person watching, listening to us right now to do? What's the thing you want them to take action on today?
2 things. A thing that you could do within yourself, I would love for you to remind yourself that you are worthy of love and experiencing love, and coming back into here. Like this is where we're meant to live from. It's our truth. And I really want you to remind yourself of that. No, I'm worthy of this. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of all the beauty that's around me. And the second thing is, a physical thing that you could do is trying the 5 minutes of meditation. Just start today. Just start 5 minutes. That is it. No one is too busy for 5 minutes. Oprah stops her entire company and they do TM twice a day.
Wow, that's awesome.
She stops the whole company and they're all like, stop, drop and meditate. And look at that company and the success of her, you know, and if, you know, these big successful CEOs and amazing inspirational people like Tony Robbins and Oprah are doing it, like something's right about it.
There's a guy, Todd White, that runs Dry Farm Wines over in the US. I'll introduce you to him. The way they run their company is beautiful. Like they get together from 9 to 10 a.m. and they all like meditate, spend the time together as a company before they start. And then at 5 p.m. when everyone clocks off, you're not allowed to do any work outside of the time. Like that's completely it. So I like that's so important, being able to take that time and be able to do that. Melissa, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You're absolutely gorgeous. You give so much love. There's so much to give. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the links below for you to be able to get access into absolutely everything that Melissa's doing. I highly recommend. I haven't read Open Wide yet. I will.
Has your wife got it?
No, she doesn't, because I was supposed to get and bring it back from this trip right now as well. Mean Girl, I have read, so I think that's a very great book. You're going to be able to get on board Melissa's podcast as well, and everything that she's doing. You're going to absolutely love every single drop that she's got from you. So thank this is where I want to make sure that you get the most out of being here, and I want to hear from you. So if you've enjoyed this episode, click like, and make sure I can send you the new episodes each and every week. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, I really want to make sure that I'm giving you exactly what you need. So comment below. I want to know what you're going to take away from this episode. And the best conversations after every episode always happen in the Breaking Success Tribe. I'll pop a link below for you to join the free group so you get access to the guides, the live streams. I'm in there answering your questions personally each and every day. Plus you get all the episodes as well. So thank you so much for being here and joining us. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.